man, I wonder if I could make 100,000. What could I do? And from there, it's like, whoa, what if I made like 250? What if I made 500? What if I made $1 million just selling real estate?
$1 million listing, New York's Ryan and Amelia Serhant.
Give it up for Ryan Serhant.
Ryan Serhant.
Ryan Serhant is
You do the second largest sale in the U.S. history of a private home.
I'm on the 131st floor of the penthouse of Central Park Tower. This is the most expensive listing in America at $250 million.
When you live above sound, when you are high enough above the concrete jungle that is New York City.
We've agreed to price. That is the #1 goal. That's the hardest part, is getting someone to the price. Everything else is negotiable. So everyone just breathe, stay calm. It's my job as the broker to keep level heads. I got the seller to strike everything, but there was this stupid blanket. The seller was like, I'm not selling the house. I need that blanket. By all means, keep the blanket. And my buyer's gonna keep his $40 million. The richest guys, it's all emotional, it's all ego, it's all principle, it's all, I don't need this. There's so much greed, it is the worst. Like, what are you gonna do? Save $5? To do what? You know, I sold a house in Florida for $133 million. Sold it in one day. Are you sure? Are you okay? You try to be everything to everyone, you end up being nothing to no one. To pick a direction and stick to it. Everything else is just noise. You're gonna understand that every win you get is now a bonus. My job is to pitch so many listings that I lose. You come to New York City or any market and you care a lot about acting, right? Good luck with rejection. People said, don't focus on the luxury market. It can be very, very fickle. People said, don't get into real estate in New York. You're not from there. You're not a rich kid. You didn't go to those schools.
Gucci proud, I'm in love with the bag right now. That's your hoe, I'm in love with the rats right now. So far, 95. If a nigga won't test me, bitch, I might take his life. 40 on me, bitch, I've been riding around with road rage.
Amazing. Welcome, Ryan.
Of course. Thanks for having me, man.
It's an honor to have you. We drove all the way from Montreal just to have you, brother. So I really appreciate your time.
Nice.
How's everything?
Everything's good. Busy day. We got tons of traffic outside in Soho. I appreciate you driving down.
Hey, man, it means the world to me to have a sit down with you. So let's dive into it. You know, like Ryan, you're the biggest name. So for those, I don't know who doesn't know Ryan, but so for those who doesn't know Ryan, Ryan is the biggest real estate broker in the world right now. He has a lot of success in what you're doing right now. So Ryan, people knows you. So let's dive into the questions about, you're on top of the mountain right now. So how hard is it to stay in top, in your opinion? Like, is it easier to be on top or is it easier to climb to the top?
It's a good question. The top consistently moves. So unlike a mountain where you reach the top and then you stay up there and die or go down the mountain, right? In business and in sales, the top is a consistently moving target. So, for me, the top of the mountain when I got into this business, when I became a real estate agent for the first time, was I need to make $50,000 a year. If I can do that, I can afford to live in New York City and not move home. Right? Well, initially it was I need to make 24,000. But then I learned about taxes. So then it's like 50,000. And so that was my top. Once I hit it, the top moved. Man, I wonder if I could make 100,000. What could I do? And from there, it's like, whoa, what if I made like 250? What if I made 500? What if I made $1 million just selling real estate? I don't have to go do grad school. I don't have to listen to anybody else. I just have to meet new people every day. That's my job. Let's do that. And then I built a huge team and then I blew it up and I started my own company 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. And the top moved again because once I hit the top sales team in the country, then it was, okay, now I've got to be the top company. And I went right to the bottom. So now the top has moved. I appreciate the climb, right? Because I know where to go. Once you reach the top, it's far more stressful as you try to figure out, okay, now where do I go from there, right?
So you're passionate about the process, right? If you don't like the process, obviously It makes sense, right?
Yeah, there's something I've always said, and I say this to every agent, I say this to everyone listening here, I'll say this to everybody when I'm with you in Montreal, is, you know, I don't focus on the money, right? The money is a byproduct of the work. If I focus on the money does not show up because my energy is misplaced. So I get paid for doing good work. So then I should focus on the work. If you focus on the work will take care of you. So all I know is no matter what happens in the market, no matter where interest rates are, no matter if buyers are pulling out, sellers can't afford to sell because, you know, they have an interest only rate at 2.5%, whatever it might be. I know if I just show up every day and I put the work in, I will outlast everyone else and the work will take care of me.
That's a great mindset, brother. What about, let me put you in a scenario where, hypothetical scenario where there's a World War III and there's a collapse of the whole system and you lose everything. I take away your fame and your contacts. All you have is your knowledge.
Yep.
Right? What are the 3 things you will do so you can gain back to where you at right now?
Dude, I would get all of the guns.
What do you mean?
You said World War III. It's a hypothetical. World War III. Are you kidding me? And I just lost everything. I am battling up. I'm getting a tank and I'm going out in the streets and, you know, it's martial law and I'm just taking over. But I don't know what the world looks like after World War III. I mean, I have no idea.
Let's say people are building back. And
listen, our business and every business is a people business. Like, what's a company? A company isn't like this building, right? A company is not the products, right? Companies are valued based on revenue. Revenue comes from the work created by the people. So for me, it's people first, product second. So if I surround myself with the best people on the staff and the best people here in our business as agents, then the revenue is going to come. It's just going to take care of itself. We're going to ebb and flow with the market just like everybody else. But if I work with the best people, then I'm not going to go like this. I'll go like this, right? And so the first thing I do is I start looking around and seeing, okay, who are the best people who've made it through your hypothetical World War III? Who are those best people? How do I align myself with them? And how do we start building? How do I, you know, I don't think my relentlessness goes away, my ability to follow up. I don't know if I'm selling houses in World War III. You know, I have no idea what I'm doing. Maybe I'm a different kind of leader. But I would say I would focus on the people. I would try to learn from the past, right? Because the past influences your present. And I would really try to be somebody who unites others.
Amazing. People, when I came in, people were very nice to me. Everyone were very motivated.
Well, that's good.
You know, so I guess that you're a great leader. I'm building my company right now where a lot of people, and I'm trying to get to another level.
Yeah.
What's the best advice for someone who's building a company to not be a bossy and be a leader, a good leader? Because people, they're complicated, right?
Yeah.
And they want more. So what's the best advice you can give them?
Being a great leader is a different skill set from being a great manager. Okay, so you have to decide which one you are. Yeah. It's very difficult to be both. You can't be the head coach and the quarterback, right? You can't be. Some people can. I think it's really hard, and I don't think it's a good use of your time to try to be both. I'm a much better leader than I'm a manager. I'm not a good manager. I do not have the patience to work with the people that work here day in and day out, right? Because I'm so focused on outcome more than anything. And so I focus on being the best leader that I possibly can be. So obviously I try to lead by example, but I also understand that great leaders lift. So lift everyone around you. A rising tide lifts all boats. The more you can lift everybody, the greater you can lead, and then hire managers.
That's what you're saying. So you can't do both. You can't give orders at the same time, lift people, because it would be hard to do it, right?
I mean, I've done it. Yeah. Do it. You can lead and you can manage at the same time. But there's only so many hours in the day, and you want to be you want to have a simple understanding of who the go-to is at your company. So for me, everyone knows I'm the leader. I lead, they're following me, right? I'm in battle first. I'm taking bullets first, and you're coming with me. When they have to talk about their feelings and talk about time off and the benefits and process and this issue they have with somebody else and this, that, the other, right? Then they go to our managers. That's what we have managers for.
Great advice. Thank you, Ryan. What about, do you know Patrick Bet-David?
Patrick Bet-David.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes. So he's a great leader. And I watch his podcast really often, and he was mentioning about a realtor in Miami. I don't know if it's in Miami, but hear me out. He was he was telling about the realtor how great he was. He was focusing on the details. So basically, this realtor, what he does every time he meet clients, he asks personal question about what they like, what they don't like, and this client told him he liked Lamborghinis or Ferraris, whatever model. So next time he came to see the client, he bought a Lamborghini, but not a real Lamborghini, a toy Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously, this client will always remember this realtor. Sure. So the question for you is, what's your signature details? What's your signature move on details? What do you focus on every time that people knows you for this? You know, is it follow up? Is it do you have anything like that people remember every time they see Ryan for any visits?
People definitely remember me for my follow up. I will follow up with you till you buy or die. People remember me for my hair. I used to think that it was a negative because I thought it made me look old. And to be 22, 25, 28 with gray hair, I thought a negative, but I made it a positive and it helped differentiate me, right?
Are you saying I should dye my hair too?
I think you should, dude. Everyone has black hair. You gotta, join the crowd, man. I think people also, remember me for my brutal honesty. I remember little things too. I give people great closing gifts. I stay on top of them. I get creative, but I am so honest with people about places that they shouldn't buy. I'm honest with sellers about not pricing at certain places. I give recommendations to go hire other agents all the time. When someone's way too traditional, I'm like, you know what? I'm probably not the right agent for you. I wish you the best of luck. And I leave. Nothing makes people want to hire you more than getting up and leaving. Okay.
That's awesome.
And so I also don't want to waste my time. My time is my number one asset. It's all I have. That's why I don't have a passcode on my phone. Because every second I care about, right? That's why I don't want to have to tie my laces. Like I don't need it anymore. Every second I care about. And so, I think clients also understand like, no, when I work with Ryan, he gives me really honest professional advice and I believe him. And it's authentic. Because I was about to buy that place. Crazy. And you convinced me not to. Thank God.
That's a takeaway. Be honest. Be different. Dye your hair. I will definitely do a change.
Dye your hair gray. Everything's going to be okay.
Oh. Okay.
Gray is the way.
Ever thought of being a rapper? You rhyme right now.
Harry Mack. You watch TikTok? You see Harry Mack on TikTok? No. He does freestyle raps. He's the best.
Oh, yeah? Oh, well. Perfect. My next question. In the movie The Godfather, there's a saying, there's a line, I'll make you an offer you can't refuse, right? Yep. Negotiation is key in real estate.
Yep.
Could you recall a negotiation where you had to be creative so both parties couldn't refuse the offer, like recently?
Let me try to think of something creative. We negotiate a lot of deals. So, you want a fun one? You want a boring one?
Let's go for the fun one.
We negotiate furniture all the time. Furniture, right? We negotiate furniture. We negotiate little things into deals to try to get people over the finish line, right? This isn't really a fun deal, but we just signed today. The broker keeps calling me nonstop. She is intense. So the deal is for $31.5 million. Okay. It was presented to us as 31.5, all cash, closing immediately. That was the deal. That's what we agreed to. Once the contract we were negotiating, going back and forth, they changed the terms. 31.5 and we need financing. Okay, but non-contingent upon financing. If you can't get a loan, you lose your deposit. Okay, we'll agree to that. Oh, also we can't close immediately. I need 3 months to close. Okay, well now it's a different deal. So do you want me to lock up this contract for 3 months and now you feel unconfident about your ability to get the deal done? And so what we agreed to is, and so this is how I got the deal done, because everyone was willing to walk away from the deal. And I said, everyone calm down. We've agreed to price. That is the number one goal. That's the hardest part, is getting someone to the price. Everything else is negotiable. So everyone just breathe, stay calm. It's my job as the broker to keep level heads. Let everyone else go like this and this and this. My job is to be here. So let's do this. 30-day closing with the right to extend for an additional 30 if you need it as part of the deal. So I'm going to give you 60. If you need more time past the 60 for a deal of this size, put up 10% additional deposit. If you need it, hopefully you don't need it, but at least then you get your 90 days. And if you're financing, you're not buying a $31.5 million apartment with 10% down, right? Unless you're crazy. So let's see. And he agreed. They agreed, and we got the deal done.
Take away from this, everything after the price is negotiable, right?
Well, the price is also negotiable, but the price is the hardest part to renegotiate.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes when you're in a negotiation that's protracted, meaning that's long, right, and arduous, you could lose it over something tiny. Like I was selling a mansion in the Hamptons on the ocean, $40 million, okay? Fully furnished. And there was nothing the seller said. They said, fine, at 40 million, I'm not even gonna come back to the house. You can have everything. Keep it all. Okay, great. Then they sent us a contract that shows us all of the exclusions. So everything that's coming out of the house. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I got my guy to do this deal and it's expensive because you said you were gonna keep everything. Now you're changing the deal. And it wasn't big things. It's like, there's like the 2 pieces of art he forgot were in there, a blanket, And so he was like, oh, I forgot. This is immaterial. You're still getting the whole house and most everything else. I'm like, yeah, but if I go back to my buyer and I say, hey, all good. They sent us a list. There's just a handful of things that aren't included. They forgot. Well, now what else did the seller forget? What did he put in there? Maybe they went there and started taking things out. We negotiate these deals based on our word until we sign. And so if the seller's going to say 40 million, all furniture included, and then come back to us a day later and say, oh, just kidding, that doesn't work. And so I got the seller to strike everything, but there was this stupid blanket that the seller was like, I'm not selling the house. I need that blanket. It was like from his grandmother or something. I don't know. I was like, then you never should have said it. Is it a big deal? If I go to the buyer and tell him, is he going to kill the deal? Maybe not, but the chances were actually greater than zero that he'd say, what the fuck? What? No, because he's paying a lot of money for this house. And so I got him to include the blanket. And I was like, listen, no problem. And this is what I said. By all means, keep the blanket. And my buyer's going to keep his $40 million. You let us know what you'd like to do. And I hung up the phone.
Is it something that is emotional to them, or is it
it's emotional. Dude, everyone gets emotional. The richest guys, it's all emotional. It's all ego. It's all principle. It's all, I don't need this. There's so much greed. It is the worst. It's the worst. That's why I'm probably not the best negotiator, because everyone's like, oh, you should be, I am a great negotiator for my clients. I mean, for myself. Because I'm involved in so many negotiations where I'm just dealing with the most stubborn, greedy people. And I just don't care. Like, what are you gonna do? Save $5 to do what? How much time goes into doing that? Like, who cares? The best clients I have, the richest clients I have, okay? And I work with a lot of billionaires, is, I sold a house in Florida for $133 million. I sold it in one day. We went in, it was asking 140, right? We didn't go through comps, we didn't go through anything. He looked at me and said, what's it worth? I said, it's worth probably just under the asking price. They priced it right. I said, okay, get it done. Like, okay, you sure? This is one of the most expensive homes to ever sell in the world. Are you sure? Are you okay with this? He's like, I want it done by 5 o'clock because he had no time to waste. He wanted to move.
Yeah.
I go to dinner with billionaires, right? Closing dinners and things like that. If I could, I would only go to dinner with billionaires. They're the best. Go to dinner, they don't look at the menu because why bother? What are they gonna do? Sit there and be like, do I want the kale or the Caesar? Let me think about it. No, there's no, like, what a waste of time. You pick a great restaurant, you tell the waiter, bring me the best. That's it. I'm hungry, I'm not hungry, I have an allergy, sure, bring me the best. So I do that now, and it's great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So will you say you're a billionaire?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe after Montreal.
Oh, maybe, yeah. So you're talking about the biggest deal in, you said Miami, right?
Palm Beach, Florida.
Okay. Now you have something higher than that. You're actually selling right now, $250 million in Manhattan.
Yep.
Tell me, how do you got that deal?
Listen, we sell a lot of big, expensive real estate. I've worked really, really hard to brand myself as the go-to for the ultra luxury market. And that developer called and said, I have this amazing penthouse. Do you want to sell it? I said, yes. I mean, eventually you get to the point where in your career where you want to be, and I talk about this in my first book, and Sell It Like Sirhan, you want to be the one who what? If you want to be and really, really focus, like what is that niche market that you want to be? You know, I think too many salespeople try to be everything to everyone because they're so nervous and they want to do all the deals. Yeah. And I'm doing commercial now. I'm going to lease out that commercial restaurant space. And then I also have to go rent a $2,000 apartment. Like when you try to be everyone, when you try to be everything to everyone, you end up being nothing to no one. So pick a direction. Like if you're sailing, you know, to pick a direction and stick to it. Everything else is just noise.
That's something that I do personally. I do mortgages. There's different type of mortgages, right?
Yeah.
Residential, private, B-lending, commercial. There's a lot of mortgage type of mortgages. And since I focus on private, all I get is private. How come I get all I get is private? It's because focus on that from the beginning. Something that you also advise people is to focus. But obviously in the beginning, like anybody else, you have to touch everything just to survive. And then after that, once you have some kind of clientele that's coming in, then you can focus on something that you like.
Yeah.
Do you do commercial?
I don't personally do it, but we do it. We have a commercial division here, yeah.
Since you like the movie Rocky Balboa?
Rocky?
Rocky, yeah? You like
Sure.
it? There's a famous says, it ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward.
Yep.
How do you stay resilient in an industry where setbacks are common? And what are the setbacks that taught you a valuable lesson? Like recently, something that you happened recently.
Dude, I have setbacks every day.
Yeah.
Listen, for one, it's a mindset shift.
Yeah.
You have to understand you're going to fail. And your job is to get punched in the face. If you understand every day I'm going to go out and I'm going to fail, my job is to get punched in the face. I'm going to do everything I can not to. Then every time it happens, you're not going to be depressed about it. It's not going to affect you. You're not going to have to ride that emotional roller coaster. You're not going to ruin your week. You're not going to ruin your month. You're not going to ruin your year, right? You're going to understand that every win you get is now a bonus. Like my job is to pitch so many listings that I lose. If I went out there being upset that I would lose a listing pitch or lose a building or lose an agent every time, how would I get up tomorrow? I care far more about tomorrow than I do about today. Today's done, right? Even by the morning, today's done. I know exactly what's going to happen today. I knew I was doing this podcast for a long time. Like I'm going to show up and give it my best, but it's banked, right? It's over. And so I try to live my life a year in advance at all times. How can I be the Ryan of 1 year from today and be that guy today so that I'm not affected by the issues that happen to me now? And I think it's really, really helped me have a really thick skin because I just don't care.
Is it something that you happen to learn during?
I learned it by being an actor. You come to New York City or any market and you care a lot about acting, right? Good luck with rejection because you get rejected to your face because of your face, because of your ears, because of your nose, because of your hair.
It's crazy.
Right? And like, talk about personal rejection. You think you're the perfect person for this role. You're obsessed with it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And they're like, sorry, we just don't like your mouth. Okay? You're too tall, you're too short, you're too fat, you're too ugly. We don't like your voice. You're actually not good. You have no talent. You'll never do this.
People actually say that in
yeah,
in
of
your
course.
face.
Yeah. So then I got into real estate and the rejection isn't because of my face. At least I don't think so. The rejection is because they picked something else or they lied to me or they don't want to buy anything or they picked somebody else for whatever reason. Doesn't matter, right? It's okay. I'm a volume broker. Right? My goal is to sell as much as I can everywhere, not just like right today. And so you just have to understand your job is to swing. Swing as many times as you can.
You do so much stuff, Ryan. You do podcasts, you do education courses.
When does this come out? In a month, you said?
In a month, yeah. Okay. In a month, yeah. What is the question?
I was just curious.
So you do plenty of stuff. So how do you keep motivated every day? Because, you know, it could be very stressful, right? All those setbacks that you have every day, all those stuff you have to do. Like, you have to have one or two things that you really love, and that's the most favorite stuff that you do. You like to do.
Yeah, I like doing the TV shows. It's fun. I like doing deals. My mood is always better when we're in the middle of deals, right? I like launching new listings, new projects. I like hiring new agents. I always get excited because it's like acquiring new businesses every time, you know, and their networks and what can we do together? It's just like this puzzle building. And so as long as I do as much of that as possible, the business will grow, we will move forward, and anything that could happen that's negative will fall by the wayside.
Talking about new agents, you have your company, Serhant Agency.
Yep.
That has different offices across the state. How many states you're working with right now?
Six right now.
What about Canada? Any chance that you come there?
Now, didn't the Prime Minister say that foreigners can't buy in Canada right now?
Change. You could buy commercial. There's always a way you could, you know.
But can I come out there and buy a condo?
Condo, like a residential condo?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Okay, so that's what I do. So can't come to Canada yet.
With your agency, maybe open a company there.
And maybe. There's a lot to do in the United States first before I come to Canada.
If you ever come to Montreal, I can help you out.
Okay, sounds good.
So, you know, do you work with mortgage brokers for your financing? Like, how do you guys call it here? Mortgage agents, mortgage broker, bankers?
I mean, listen, there's a significant amount of cash. I'd say like 60 to 65% of the deals we do these days are in cash, which is crazy, you know, because interest rates are so high. So a lot of deals are done in cash. But I have great mortgage banker and mortgage broker relationships. We all do here. You have to. And they're really, really instrumental at helping us get deals done.
So let me ask you this question. So let's say we want to work with Ryan.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. As a mortgage broker, what's your expectation? What will pique your interest to work with this person? Is it like fastness? Is it their value?
Telling the truth.
Yeah.
Telling the truth and response time.
Response time.
So 100%. I care because I tell the truth and I move incredibly quickly. And that's customer service, right? And your ability to execute. So, I mean, I know mortgage brokers, lawyers, plumbers, you know, all the vendors that I have to work with to get a deal done. I have a one strike policy. Like, if you tell me after you talk to my client, no problem, I'm going to be able to get them a loan. And then a month later you say, actually, I should have done this, or, you know, the underwriting's a problem, it's just not going to happen. Dude, you knew it wasn't going to happen. So why'd you just waste my time? And so your ability to execute, to be honest with me, I'd much rather you say, I don't think this person's going to get a loan here or anywhere. You should stop wasting your time, Ryan, is exactly what I want to hear. You know, that's what the helpfulness is.
Great advice. A lot of people is going to be there in the conference. It's happening February the 15th. Ryan's going to be there.
Let's go. February 15th,
Yes.
let's go.
Montreal, mortgage brokers and realtors, all in one room is going to be great. Never been done before in Montreal.
Nice. Awesome.
So the fact that you give us a value like this is very interesting. Thank you so much. What's the worst advice you had in your career, like as a real estate broker? Like the worst of the worst.
I mean, the worst advice I ever got was don't do reality TV. Everyone said that. People said don't start your own company. That was bad advice. People said, don't focus on the luxury market, right? It can be very, very fickle. People said don't get into real estate in New York. You're not from there, right? You're not a rich kid. You didn't go to those schools. All that advice was pretty bad.
If you have to go back to the young Ryan,
Yeah.
and you have to give him one advice,
Yeah.
what would be, obviously, when you started real estate? One advice that will change, maybe fasten your time.
Yeah, I would probably tell him, one, I'd say it's all going to be okay, right? And I would probably tell him to do what I tell people to do now, which is this entire job is about lead gen more than anything. Everyone's in sales and it's only lead gen. So you're about to spend a lot of time at your desk, like doing showings, doing the work. It's fine, but you need to make sure that every single day you're waking up and you understand that if you're in sales, your number one job is to generate business. And so figure that out right now. And you don't know anybody. So start meeting people on the street and really, really start following up with them, staying on top of them, building that database. It took me like 5 years to really figure that out, because it's hard and it's annoying. And I'm naturally an introvert,
Really?
I'm naturally very shy. Yeah. I'd much rather be at the office and grinding than be out there meeting new people, having new conversations, talking to people. I think that's why I got into theater. I much preferred pretending to be other people than being myself.
It's amazing. What about with certain agency? What's a big vision here? What's your goal? And for real estate that you're gonna hire, what they should expect for them to work with you or for you?
Agents come here, one, for the technology and the ability to sell homes faster and put the properties in front of more eyeballs than anybody else. And so that's a good pitch tool for them to have.
How different is the technology?
I'm sorry?
What's the value in your technology?
We have an entire team, it's called ADX, that syndicates all of our listings to everywhere that our brand is interacted with. So if you go on our website, click on the button that says ADX, and you're gonna see Globe. And that globe is everywhere. I think we touch about 120 million people a month. And so you can work at any other brokerage and you're gonna put your listing on the MLS, put it on the internet, and you're gonna put it on your social, maybe do a little postcard, and hopefully it sells. When you work with us, you're putting it to the globe. Okay, so that's one. Two, a lot of agents and teams come here because they want to build big careers, create legacies, right? Build big teams. And so we enable them to build brand. So we have an in-house creative agency and an in-house production company. So as you probably see, cameras and everything all over the place. There's a lot going on here all day long as agents are building their brands, building their stories, creating brands for their properties, their developers, and we sell content to commerce. And then the last thing, there's so many things, because we are the greatest real estate firm in the world. But I would say the education. People come to really get training, right? The training is really, really great. And it's not just for new agents. The training is for veterans alike, everybody, to consistently reinvest into yourself.
That's amazing. And lastly, Ryan, as a mortgage broker.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You know what? How do you get in touch with billionaires, man?
Gatekeepers.
Gatekeepers.
Yeah. The billionaire, like a Target, Okay.
Okay.
Like darts, right? The center of the dartboard is the billionaire. It's really hard to fucking get that center. It's much easier to get to these rings. This is the circle of trust. That billionaire is very busy. To do their work, they have attorneys, mortgage bankers, private wealth managers, landscapers, nannies, dog walkers, etc. Everything that they interact with all day long. And they have entrusted these people with their lives. These people influence the center of the dartboard. So my job all day long, and I do it. I have somebody who sits next to me. All they do all day long is they reach out to these gatekeepers so that we can meet every one of them. So that one day when their boss decides to buy, rent, sell, invest, they're like, hey, I'm friends with Ryan Serhant. You know him? Here, I'll show you. This is who he is. You should talk to him. He's the best. I'll call him right now. And that's how I've built that business.
How do you find those gatekeepers?
It's all public. It's all public. Everything
Really?
is public. Yeah, of course. All these people work for the billionaire's family office. They all work for that company. It's all out there, man. It's not hard. It's all public.
If you have to give him one advice to broker
Yeah.
who's starting out, what would it be?
sellitlikesirhant.com. Join the greatest sales training membership in the world. Thank you all for listening to the podcast. And if you want to learn more, go to sellitlikesirhant.com and use promo code SIRU. That's SERU to get 20% off our membership. That's my best advice, because everything that I know about how to build a sales career and how to sell, I put into our membership program. Like it's just all in there.
So you go there, subscribe. You have tons of courses.
Dude, there's new courses.
You teach them or
There's new courses every month. There's webinars, there's trainings, there's live programming every day. There's nothing like it. It's like Peloton meets masterclass for sales training.
So you also do a conference. I mean, like you have your own conference in
Yeah,
Miami.
we have a big mastermind in Miami at the end of September.
That's for realtors only?
No, it's for all salespeople.
Okay.
We train all salespeople. Yeah, we train a lot of realtors and a lot of real estate agents, but we have people that sell solar. We have people that sell, Invisaligns for your teeth. We have people that sell suits. We have people that sell camera equipment. We have people that sell pianos.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much. If people wants to see him more, he will be in
Montreal. February 15th. Let's go.
What those people can expect from you, Ryan?
They're going to expect, listen, come to where's the thing happening?
Palais des Congrès.
What? What'd you say?
Palais des Congrès.
Des Congrès.
Yes.
Okay.
Downtown Montreal.
February 15th, downtown Montreal, Palais des Congrès.
You got
That's
it.
where I'm going to be. And it's going to be the greatest conference of all time. We're going to talk how to build a personal brand, how to sell through social, how to create amazing relationships, how to work in today's market, and so much more. We're going to be doing Q&As, everything. It's going to be insane. Make sure you're there. If you're not there, you're going to have a bad year.
And also thank you, Ryan. Man, you're good at this. Right. After, there's a VIP session. Those who wants to meet you more, okay, pass time with you, there's a possibility for them. So
great. VIP session afterwards. I'll see you there.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thanks. For sure.
Yeah.